Good evening, everyone. My name is Bernard Cana. I'm the editor-photographer of the website known as The Photo Pit. Over to my right is my friend Danny Mazzeo, the editor-photographer of the website known as The Threshold. We're here once again continuing our ongoing discussion on the Blue Ridge Rock Festival artist announcements. Tonight, we're going to cover numbers 69 through 74, since we just got one more that dropped right before we went live. So that's covering everything from Tuesday, March 15th till today, March 16th. So, Danny, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic. I'm already looking at these comments thinking what in the world is going on, because Courtney's apparently making brownies and she's not even willing to share. So, you know, if I wasn't already fired up, I'm really fired up now. I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm all right. I am okay. All right. So, first things first, before we get started, as I posted in the fan zone the other day, and I do want to reiterate, you know, we are here to have discussions on everything artist announcement wise. So if we happen to get one that comes in the middle of a live stream on any day, drop it, talk about it, do whatever. You know, don't let me throw that off, because that just kind of threw me for a loop that day. It's been a really weird week. So, you know, my apologies for that, and that won't happen any further. So we'll just keep rolling like we always do. You know, but don't hesitate. You know, somebody sees something, even if it's like, you know, a confirmed rumor or something, drop it. We'll discuss. You know, I may say, okay, we'll get back to that, but we will discuss. So, all right, I guess let's get rolling, because we did have a very, I'm looking at all my notes here.
Power packed 48 hours, dude.
Yeah, a very interesting 48 hours of announcements. Some I actually suspected were going to be here as part of the festival, and some didn't see coming. just not even close. Not even close. All right, so let's kick it off. We're going to start by talking about on Tuesday morning announcement. So I will have to start. This band comes out of Richmond, Virginia. Not a Florida band. There we go.
Respect, man. Respect.
Respect. But the interesting part about this band is that they've been around friggin' forever in a day.
They have.
1984. 1984.
What year?
84. 1984. I think the reason because it's like they do have a lot of, well, let me not say a lot, but they have lineup rotations that change. So, you know, that's a band that you can constantly bring new people in. You'll just keep going forever and ever. So, and it works. It perfectly works for them. I mean, this band, like, everyone and their grandmother has heard of them at some point in time in their lives, because how can you not know who this band is, right? I mean, that's
grandmothers that have actually seen them, let alone heard of them.
Yes, I will absolutely agree with that. You know, I mean, but this is a band they're legendary. They are by far, to me, they are legendary. They're up there in every ranking of every other artist that ever came out of that time period. And there is no other heavy metal artist that anyone could say is more unique than the heavy metal band known as Gwar. And I will say, when I saw this announcement, I was like, oh my God, I just did not, let me not say I didn't see it coming, because I kind of wondered, you know, with tours and stuff that was going on with them, would they be here? But at the same time, I'm like, holy crap, this is awesome. I love it. I so love it.
But really, can you have a festival like this in Virginia and not think Guar is going to make the bill at some point?
You don't know. I mean, it's been 5 years. They haven't been there yet, right? I mean, this is their first time appearance at Blue Ridge, as far as I know.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, and for those who don't know, which I'd be shocked if any of you who's on this live stream and watching this don't know who they are. You know, but they're a heavy metal band. They theme themselves around science fiction as these, I guess, you know, galactic warriors that have come to invade Earth, and get geared up in massive prosthetic costumes, and, you know, play heavy metal that's just totally over the top. But what really, I don't know, what really sells the band is their stage antics. And I use the word antics. It's not really antics. It's their stage performance, right? It's the beyond the music stuff that they do, which is usually very graphic at times and very liquidy at times, a lot of times. So Yeah. All right. So, any case, let me go through quickly like their little history of music albums because they have a pretty big one. I mean, and honestly, like their former member list, is big. I mean, they've had a lot of rotations over the years that have come through. But their albums, like holy crud, and it's their discography is massive. So they formed in 1984. Their first album came out in 1988, which is known as Hell-O, as in hello, but Hell-O. 1990, one of the most probably popular ones, the Scum Dogs of the Universe. 92, America Must Be Destroyed. 1994, This Toilet Earth. That's I feel like. Sometimes I feel like that's what our world is right now. 1995 was Ragnarok. 1997, The Carnival of Chaos. 1999, We Kill Everything. 2001, Violence Has Arrived. 2004 was War Party. 2006, Beyond Hell. 2009, Lust in Space. Like, if that's not an album that just fits by its title with this band, nothing ever will. 2010 was The Bloody Pit of Horror. 2013 was Battle Maximus. That was a big one for them too, if I remember correctly. 2017, The Blood of Gods. And if I can validate here, this year on June 3rd, wow, what a coincidence. Right in time, right before Blue Ridge Rock Festival in September.
How convenient.
How convenient. June 3rd, 2022, they're self-releasing their 15th studio album, The New Dark Ages. And apparently they're also doing a graphic novel at the same time with Z2 Comics. If for those who don't know, Z2 Comics has been all over the music scene, and that's been like a ridiculous understatement of terms. They've done comics with so many different bands. I think they did one with Beartooth. I think it did one with Ice Nine Kills. I know they did one with Alter Bridge. But yeah, they're huge on doing these music comic mashups, and they're really good too. That's the thing. Skillet had one with them, and it was excellent comic. So, but apparently they're doing one. I'm surprised that Gwar didn't have one sooner. Gwar in the Duoverse of Absurdity. So that's going to be coming out at the same time as the new album. As for, I'm just trying to check something here real quick. I didn't see. It's not what I was looking for. Hang on. I'm sorry. Yep. Okay. Didn't find what I was looking for. But in any case, so that's the quick discography details on Guar. So Danny, go give me your shtick.
Quick discography for coming out in 1984, right?
Yeah.
So,
right.
I have not actually seen Guar before. So there's my confession, round one.
I have not either.
Wow.
I have not. I've seen videos. I've never seen them live.
I will say, as a potential photographer, the idea of taking photos of a Guar concert kind of intimidates me. Just it's an expensive piece of equipment that may or may not survive, and that's fair. Courtney's saying, don't wear any clothes you love. That's valid. That's absolutely valid. So I'm excited. Again, band I have not yet seen. Definitely know that this is going to be an experience, not a show. And I'm 100% okay with that. The only thing that really concerns me, though, is the way you teed this band up as science fiction. And, this day and age, the only thing that I could think of is, what is science fiction anymore? And is it actually somebody trying to come back and warn us about something? Because things are just crazy right now. So that aside, and hoping that that's not actually the case, because really that would be a really weird futuristic event.
Yeah.
This is absolutely nuts. Again, insane last 48 hours, and this just kicked it off. Bring it on.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, you just could not have asked for a better band to have at this festival with its eclectic lineup already as it was, and this is just icing on the cake to me. Melindy is a little shocked and surprised that neither one of us has seen Guar. I think one of the reasons I never have is for the exact same reason that Danny mentioned is, my camera gear. And if I drop the amount of money that my gear is worth, you'd probably faint. So yeah. It's That's probably why. It's just, I think that's the deal. But I mean, honestly, I've known plenty of photographers who've photoed them before, and they said that they're pretty like the band is pretty good about trying not to hit media. They're more like, we're gonna get the fans because that's what the fans are expecting. So they try to do their best not to, like, they're not like purposely aiming at people with cameras to splatter them. But at the same time, that's your responsibility to make sure you're protected. So, it's bring rain gear and and that's about it. So yeah, it should be good. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. I think this would be the one I would dare to go do, and make sure my gear is just properly covered and not worry about it. And go for it. Yeah, I'm excited. But this was, like I said, I mean, this was, you could not have really picked a better option of, you want to show something different, and your lineup. This is the pick.
This is it. Yeah, you want to show just how extreme everything's going to go. I mean, just think red jumpsuit to Gwar.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's pretty broad. Pretty broad.
Yep.
Yeah.
And to when we get to the end of, well, closer to the end, one of the other bands that you want to talk about an extreme on the other side.
That's
but
right.
We'll get there. We'll get there. All right. So next band, this was the Tuesday afternoon announcement. Rock band out of Ohio, started in 2010. They're well known, and like, that's in the announcement, and my comment on that announcement was that if you could have a band that can generate 80 million streams on Spotify, you're a powerhouse in the music industry. Yes. Period. No if, no ends, no buts, right? I mean, that's just a lot. Now, I know there are bands that have done more, but a band like this, to me, for what, 10 years in, to be able to generate that much, what's the word I'm looking for? Audience, right? Around their music is huge. So that
for it to be a band that doesn't have the extent of a discography as, I don't want to start name dropping a bunch of controversial artists that have been engaged in Spotify, so I won't. I'll be very vague about it. But if you think about the different bands that have been out for 50 plus years, okay, 8 million's probably not a huge reach for them to be able to get. For a band to be around for this tenure, to have that kind of a following. For, if I'm not mistaken, this was definitely high on Amanda's giddiness list.
It was.
So, these guys warrant the extra attention by every measure.
I agree. Right. And the band that we're talking about here is The Plot and You. So I will admit, I did not know, or have not known, a lot about them and their music. I've heard of the name, but not enough like that I followed anything that they've released so far. So let me when I did some, do some digging on stuff. I know that, like, this was, from what I found, originally a side project from some of the members who was in it, or at least one of the members who was in it, and became now, their full-time band. So their discography. So we said they came out in 2010, right? They released their first album with Rise Records. So they were already signed to a label immediately out the door, which is, that's impressive in itself, because that normally just doesn't happen. You don't see bands who, jump out for their first debut album on a major record label. Usually it's with some smaller label or self-produced or something like that. That album was called Firstborn, that released in 2011. And that album actually charted on the Billboard's Heat Seekers and peaked at number 36 for their first album out the door. That alone, to me, already
You're not making a statement or anything.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a statement to me. I mean, I would like, go 36 ain't high. You're in the top 40. Come on, for a debut album.
It really is amazing.
Yeah. 2 years later, in 2013, was Could You Watch Your Children Burn? That made it to number 1 on the Heat Seeker list. It hit the Billboard hard rock at number 4. That was its peak. It made it onto the Billboard 200 and peaked at number 110. Yeah, they have fans, right? 2015 was called Happiness and Self-Destruction. That also went to number 1 on the Heat Seekers. It hit number 5. It peaked at 5 on the hard rock charts, made it to 102 on the Billboard 200. In 2018 was their next album. That was their 4th, called Dispose. That also went to number 1 on the Heat Seeking chart. It made it to number 9 on the hard rock chart, and then 133 on the Billboard 200. And then their last album, Swan Song, came out in 2021, but I didn't have numbers for, for where they charted with that album. They also had an EP that was their, I guess we'll say that was really their debut, with a smaller label that was known as In Vogue, but that EP was called Wife Beater. So that was their only EP. But their last album they came out with was just last year in September 2021. So there you go. That's the Plot and You, at least from their little musical background history. How much do you know about them?
Not as much as you just shared. It's actually a band I through Spotify. On just one of the random playlist radios, whatever that came on, and that discovered them and went down a rabbit hole. Have loved them for a couple of years at this point. So have not seen them. Excited to see them. Maybe not as excited as Amanda, who says Landon is a god and she will stop fangirling, but I beg to differ. I bet she will continue fangirling, and I challenge her to do so. I would imagine she's probably not the only one. I know I'm excited. I wouldn't quite say I'm fangirling at this point, but I might be by the time September gets here.
Yeah, I'll have to give them a listen more, based on, besides a little stream that the Blue Ridge Rock Festival provided in their announcement. I'll have to give them a little more of a listen. I like what I heard. I've just never been on my radar.
Knowing your preferences, I would definitely say this is a band that you would thoroughly enjoy.
Okay, I'm good with that. See, but the evening announcement that came out, that's a whole other story. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd say I fangirl over this last announcement, but I was super excited for this one. Why? Because anytime when Blue Ridge or in the fan zone was asking for who would you like to see, this name of this band came up fairly frequently on my list. And I could tell you that my friend Trevor loves this band to death and supports them like 122%. And then the music that I've heard from them, I absolutely love them too. So we're talking about what they define them as a metalcore band. They're from Birmingham, Alabama. They formed in 2009. This was interesting, this little thing. The band is named after the harmonious Acadian god of war and plague.
We've been called out, Bernard.
We have?
Pause.
Why we've been called out? Back up. Okay, why am I back up? Okay, why?
I could have sworn that you dropped the name of the last band we were discussing, but we're getting called out that we did.
What?
The band that we were just discussing.
The Plot and You. I did say it.
I thought you did, but I probably was thinking over you because I'm amped up tonight. So it's cool.
No, I did. So Christina, I did say their name.
I really thought you did, but like I said, I know I've been talking over you. They're all excited. I'm excited.
Yes, I did. I swear I did. We'll go back to it if we need to do a replay.
So anyway, we'll fast forward back to who we're about to discuss. I apologize. I'm trying to keep us all straight here. It's not working.
See, Kevin said he heard me say it. I did say it.
Hallelujah.
All right. Any case, so the Acadian god of war and plague. So their band is named after. That just makes me laugh. I was like, what? They're well known. I mean, they are well known now, right? With this band, they're super hot at this moment. And interestingly enough, the vocalist from Text in July, when he finished with their band, came over to this band. So obviously, like when Texas in July got announced, I kind of looked there and said, they have to be here. I mean, they just have to be playing. I just can't figure out why they wouldn't. I've been shocked if this name didn't get dropped. So the band that we're talking about, if I'm going to pronounce it correctly, is ERRA. ERRA, right? ERRA, however you want to say it.
I think this is another Silverstein. Let's let them battle it out in the comments.
Stein.
We'll go back to it.
Tell me which one it is. Is it ERRA? Because that's the way I would think it's pronounced.
That's how I've pronounced it, but what do I know? You're the guy that's giving us everything here, so.
And once again, I mean, like I said, when Texas in July got announced, and I realized, like, somebody pointed out the connection, I was like, oh, they have to be here. And if they weren't, I was going to be PO'd. Any case, yeah. So they started. Did I mention this back in 2009? Let's just jump around here. So, in 2011 was their first album that was known as Impulse. And at the time, if I can remember this correctly, hang on a second here. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so JT didn't join them until 2016. So he wasn't part of the original lineup. Obviously, when Texas July finished in 2015, that's when he ends up joining on board. So the first two albums wasn't with him, but Impulse was their first in 2011. Augment was their next one in 2013. And that actually hit the #1 spot on the heat-seeking Billboard chart, if that says anything. It made it to 117 on the Billboard 200. Then when 2016, Drift was their third album. That again hit #1 on the heat seeker chart, made it to 101 on the Billboard 200. That's when JT had joined over with them. In 2018 was Neon. That also hit #1 on the heat-seeking chart, number 152 on the Billboard 200. And then the last one, which was their self-titled album, came out in March of 2021. It hit #4 on the heat seeker, but it didn't seem like it charted on the Billboard 200, at least not from what I could see here. But I've listened to tracks off that album. That album's hot. I'll tell you that. Their self-titled one is, yeah, that's good stuff. Ironically enough, though, they actually had an EP that was also named by their self-titled that came out in 2009. They had an EP called Andromeda that came out in 2010. They also self-released that one. And then in 2014, they had an EP called Moments in Clarity that actually hit the US heat-seeking charts that hit at #4. So their EP, that last EP in their 2014 range actually charted compared to the first two that were self-released. But that's their discography history. So now you can fanboy about this band, Danny.
Definitely need to. I get a sneak preview of them. They are on the Beartooth tour currently, and I will be seeing them in April. And I'm really, really freaking excited. That said, a band that I have really wanted to see, and like you said, the polls within the fan zone, everybody keeps bringing these guys up. I'm pumped as hell. I wouldn't quite go so far as to say I'm fangirling as hard as Amanda, who clearly acknowledged that she is fangirling harder about this band than she was the Plot in You. But I'm absolutely freaking excited. Wow, Amanda, that is a hell of a lineup. Born of Osiris, Bad Omens, and Upon a Burning Body with ERRA is wow. Very jealous of that. So
can I sidetrack for a minute?
Of course.
Why is Born of Osiris not on this bill yet? That's all I'm gonna leave it at, because they are frigging awesome. They need to be here. That's all I'm gonna say. If anyone from Blue Ridge besides Amanda is watching, someone put a bug in John's ear and say, get Born of Osiris on this lineup, because they are spectacular and they will throw down hard with everyone else who's already been announced. Trust me. Yeah.
Now,
anyway, sorry, I had to throw that out. Sorry.
From Amanda. No, Amanda, you can actually go ahead and pass that word along too, because I wholeheartedly agree. Anybody that's willing to say it, or everybody that's willing to say it, let's get them to. So
I'll tag it in the fan zone as soon as we're done. I'll tag John if I need to.
What a baller.
Say we need Born of Osiris. Amanda's okay, Amanda. Okay, whatever. That's all I'm gonna say to that last comment you just dropped.
You almost look like you're turning a little red there. My goodness.
Whatever.
Let's
But
keep
anyway,
this thing rolling. I mean,
yeah,
again,
let's keep this rolling.
yesterday was just absolutely insane. Gwar, The Plot and You, ERRA. And
Yeah,
now, and then there's today, which did not slow down.
today. Oh, today. Yeah, today. So, yeah, let's start with today. So, if come on, can we find my spot? Thank you. Right, today's morning announcement. Fantastic pick. That's all I'm going to leave it with that. Metalcore again. Ohio band, 2005, sorry. Listed, this is, I thought was interesting, listed as previously a Christian metalcore band. And I'm like, okay, sure. I don't know if I'd see it that way, but I guess I can understand. But that one just, I don't know. But anyway, their discography is pretty good, and their most recent stuff that they released was really good. I've seen them live. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed their set. They'll throw down with everyone else and anyone else in that metalcore scene right now. And the band that I'm talking about here is the Devil Wears Prada. And when I saw that, said, once again, fantastic pick for this festival lineup and the way that it's been going, especially with so much metalcore that we've been seeing on this lineup. Yeah, if you're going to have someone, that's a great band to add. Let's talk about their discography real quick. 2006 was their first release with Dear Love, A Beautiful Discord. 2007, they had Plagues. 2009 was With Roots Above and Branches Below. 2011 was one called Dead Throne. 2013 was the album 818, as in think of the clock, like if it was 8 o'clock and 18 minutes, 818. Transit Blues was in 2016, and the Act Solid album came out in 2019. So that's their most recent music that they have as of right now. And yeah, I was super excited for this. So good stuff.
This is another band that we might be due for something new.
Yes, I haven't heard anything so far about anything new coming.
And, from looking at the news that keeps coming through, I have not seen or heard anything, but just seeing their discography, time between releases, it's time. So even if it's not done, maybe they'll do some teasing. But
well, yeah, hopefully. That would be cool. I'd be good with that. Let's drop some new music, right?
So, but I have to say, the amount of talent in the metalcore genre alone on this bill is amazing. Like it's truly top notch. That I'm totally geeking out over all of it, hands down. So that's all I've got at this point. Got nothing else to add other than I'm just geeking out and ready to go.
But as Amanda commented last, but did you fangirl?
I didn't, but it sounds like you may have.
Oh, I don't know if I'd say fangirl for Devil Wears Prada. I like them a lot. Like I said, I think it's a solid ad for the festival. I love their sound. I love their energy. Their live show is spectacular. This was a good, solid pick to announce today and just to add to the lineup. And you could just see how this lineup now is where that was 72, if my numbers are correct, right? That was number 72. It's just fleshing out so well, I mean, just, yeah, that was a good one. Our next one.
Before we go to this next one, I would like to request that
more cowbells.
In addition to more cowbell, because one can never have enough cowbell, particularly when you have a fever. The comments are absolutely blowing up here, and I would personally like to see Amanda join us with her performance on the spoons. I think she can give us some intro music for this show and really help take us up a notch. And between that, there's an offer for cowbell and an offer for the triangle. I would like to see them deliver something that brings this show to the next level. So, Amanda, bring it on. That said, I'll give it back over to you. But I would love, I feel like they're trying to just joke us and they're not willing to do it. So I want to see them step up.
Fair. Okay. This next one. This one, I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm torn on it. I thought this was interesting. Interesting in a good way, but I'll kind of get to why I'm kind of looking at it a little oddly. This is an international band listed as deathcore. And when I listen to some of their stuff, I like, yep, that's right where they go. They started in 2014, and the reason that I knew they were heavy is because I couldn't read their name in their logo with that font that everyone uses in that genre.
It is not the same font. It is tweaked ever so slightly. No two branches on the same tree ever look the same, okay?
No, but one thing is always in common. There's a meme that's out there, and if I've had it, I would show it. A meme that's out there of a set list of like 12 deathcore bands, and they all have the exact same font, and you can't read a single one.
Not a single one, and that's okay. But you just know it is going to be good.
You know it's heavy when you see that font. That's all I know. Anyway, but I will say, right, but this band, when they got dropped, blew up the Blue Ridge Rock Festival page and all the comments that came on of it, because they were apparently so heavily requested last year that now they're listed this year. And the band I'm talking about is Slaughter to Prevail. And I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about them. I've listened to some of their stuff right before we got on the live stream. I love what I heard, but good with that. So let me talk about a little about their discography, which unfortunately is very short and small. They had an EP that came out in 2015, right after they, had kind of gotten together, known as Chapters of Misery. Then they have Misery Sermon, their first debut album that came out in 2017. And then in 2021, on August 13th, was Kostalom, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And apparently here, according to little notes that I keep finding in the internet, that debuted at number 4 on iTunes charts. So, but I mean, the thing is, like, you could see already from like all the excitement that people were talking about in the fan zone that this band is big and people wanted them here. So there you go. Thank you, Blue Ridge, for honoring requests as usual. What do you know about them, if any?
So I'll be honest, deathcore is not really my thing. And I'm sure I will take flack for that. But you can absolutely hear the talent in these guys, and you can absolutely see the energy that is going to be the remnants of Blue Ridge after their sets. Seeing the fan zone blow up alone was just, to me, that alone is, I will check out some of them, if not their whole set. I hate to acknowledge when I'm just not as into somebody as most everybody else is, and maybe I just haven't given them enough of a chance. So I'm certainly willing. They just haven't done it for me yet. But again, a band I absolutely respect the hell out of. This was their most recent album is, to use Amanda's word, absolutely brutal. And yeah, it's going to be fun. No matter how you want to slice it, it is going to be fun.
Okay. So I will say I was listening to their single Bratpa, I think it's called, and I was loving it right from the get-go. It's exactly what I expected out of that type of genre. It's heavy, it's it's guttural, it's energetic, and I love bands like that live. I may not understand a single word you say, but I just still love that energy that comes out of it. And for me, that's the entertainment. It's like, that's the stuff that I joke about this all the time. Fuels my blood, right? Pumps my soul. Like when I'm in a certain mood and I want to hear a song like that, these guys apparently are going to be on my list. I will say I absolutely love the masks that they wear. That if you have not seen them yet, holy crud, those are so cool. This is like, I get there's a shtick sometimes with costuming on stage. We've had, Slipknot does it. There's been other bands that have done it. Slaughter to Prevail does it. And I like what I see out of this. It's pretty cool. I like that. And I think that would look awesome because, I'm looking at the photography side of this too. I think it's going to be really awesome to be able to see them if I'm there. To photograph that. Yeah, that's going to be stellar.
So,
That would just be
I think you brought up a good point though. Seeing them live is very different than listening to them recorded. And I think the same could be said about most of these genres that I'm much more into in the event. So going back to Hatebreed and that type of genre, that's something that I never could understand and get into until I've seen it live. And then it was a whole new perspective and absolute utter respect, which is why remembering where I was for that and knowing someone like Slaughter to Prevail is going to be here, I wouldn't miss the opportunity to introduce myself to it, if that helps.
I could tell you where I was for the Hatebreed, for that Hatebreed set. I was in that pit shooting my butt off.
I bet you were.
Oh, and the pictures, those pictures I got were so good. I was so happy with those. Yeah, Hatebreed was fun. I like bands like this. I like bands that want to, that they give you that, it's that mosh pit vibe, right? It's that energy, that excitement. It's that roar in your face.
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, I love the pick. I love the add-on to the festival. Okay, so I'm gonna say I have a concern, and I will preface with this disclaimer. I'm not trying to be political about this. This is just foreshadowing of things I'm hopefully not seeing coming. If for those who don't know, they're a Russian band. Everyone knows what's going on in the world today right now. If things are unfortunately still happening or trending or whatever in a certain way, I could potentially see this band not being let into the country. That's my concern. The only concern I have, and hopefully that doesn't happen. But as soon as I saw where they came from, I kind of cringed a little bit and said, I don't want this band to be a Blue Ridge Map, victim in that sense. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but I'm just going to put that out there. So hopefully
it's valid, and we always want to address the elephant in the room where we need to. So,
and if it happens, I'm sure someone will blame me saying that I jinxed it. So,
Of course.
All right. Let's move on.
Number 6.
Hang on a second.
Also known as 74.
Alex issued a statement that said F this. Okay. They said they're supporting the Ukraine. Good for them. Okay.
Yes.
I'll leave that at that. I'm not making this political.
I have seen that. Yeah.
All right. All right. Last band. So we did get the last drop right before we went live. This one, rock band. More like rap rock band. And no, it's not Limp Bizkit. Formed in LA back in 1995. So let's play the game. Amanda, were you born yet?
Yes. Yes, she was.
She was. Okay. All right. There you go. Right. They have a fair number of albums that are out, and they were best known for their 2000 hit single known as Butterfly. So the band that we're discussing here is Crazy Town. Crazy Town. It says they were also abbreviated sometimes as CXT. I don't think I've ever seen that from their abbreviations before. But in any case. All right.
Courtney is on fire.
So who's on fire?
Courtney. The early 2000s called and they want their frosted tips back.
That's funny.
Oh, brutal.
That is funny. All right. Let me give me a second here. All right. Let me go through discography real quick here, because it's not as big as it's not as big as I thought it was supposed to be. Let me just check here to see if I'm right. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not as big. It's actually fairly small. 1999 was their first released album that was called The Gift of Game. That sucker went to number 9 on the Billboard 200 and went platinum. 1 million sales of that album. That's their debut. Like, holy crud. Their follow-up.
Remember, but this was very much an MTV band. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, it was.
This is very much an MTV band. Amanda would not understand, and that's okay. We still love her. So you go ahead with the rest of the bio here, but that's where they are in my heart.
This is kind of interesting too. Apparently, the album went platinum in Austria and Switzerland. No, I'm sorry. It went platinum in Austria, and where's this other one? In Germany. Go figure that one out. And apparently in Canada, it went platinum twice. 2 million album sales in Canada.
Platinum, that's fantastic.
That's just insanity. Debut album. Think about that for a second, right?
Exactly.
The unfortunate part is that their follow-ups didn't have the same success as, you know, that first album did. Dark Horse was their second album that came out in 2002. It did make it onto the Billboard 200. It charted, but it peaked at 120. I mean, that's unfortunately a significant drop from their debut at number 9, where it peaked.
Right.
And then, you know, they came out 13 years later with another album called the Brimstone Sluggers that unfortunately didn't chart anywhere, as far as I can tell. But Butterfly was by far, like, that was the biggest single off that album, Gift of Game, and that just blew them out of the water, you know, for everyone. So that's Crazy Town. How much do you know, like, about this band?
I'm clearly more excited about this band than probably most. I'm a late 90s child, in that those were my quote unquote formative years, which are apparently still forming, as most would attest, which is fair. I'm not going to discredit that. But that late 90s, early 2000s rap rock, everybody in the comments talking about the tips and the Jenkos and chain wallets. I mean, that's just, that's my time. That's my nostalgia. That's my happy place. So I'm really excited to see Crazy Town. For whatever reason, never saw them. I don't know if they just weren't around playing where I was at during that time frame, whatever. I'm ready to party and see these guys.
Okay.
So that's
now. Did you? I didn't get a chance to see the announcement. You saw the announcement on the Facebook page. You said that it was something.
Butterfly.
There's something very specific about them, right? For when they're performing.
I don't believe so. I'm gonna double check.
You're gonna make me double check too.
Nope, they're referencing the amazingness that was Butterfly.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, again, that was a fun album front to back. I thoroughly enjoyed that album. So I'm content. I'm beyond content with that. Now I will say, you know, we're talking about the announcements for those that are hanging out with us tonight. If you have not been checking out the announcements in full, and all you're doing is seeing these pictures, which do a great job in and of themselves, read them, because you will find all kinds of awesome little hints and different experiences that are happening, or little announcements like when camping is just about out, or Todd is almost getting to where he's going to get his tramp stamp, because God knows this thing is going to sell out and Todd Stone will get his tramp stamp. That said, in the commentary, in the caption of this Crazy Town post, tomorrow, we are hitting it hard for all of our rock and roll fans with 3 rock artist announcements throughout the day. So we've seen some straight down the line rock so far on this bill. I'm really excited to see who they pull on that line, because you know the talent is going to be strong. And I'm ready for it. I agree. So that's what
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to pull out because I forgot about this, my bad on me with this, when we talked about The Devil Wears Prada, the artist announcement specifically stated they will be performing their Zombie EP in its entirety, plus a number of their greatest hits. So once again, here we go with another album entirety rollout as they go. So give them time, Blue Ridge, please give them time, to do this. So yeah, so there we go. There we go. Crazy Town is, I will say that, I don't know, this one doesn't really do it for me, as an artist. I mean, is it cool? Yeah, it's cool that, here's that nostalgia feel from 1999 and, but I don't know. This one doesn't do it for me. Like when you just, it's like, I kind of felt like, I don't want to say it was let down, but I was like so excited to see like, Devil Wears Prada, Slaughter to Prevail, Crazy Town.
All right, I want you to listen to me, Boomer.
Personal opinion. That's all. That's just a personal opinion.
So
look, I'm allowed.
You are, and that is part of the beauty of this festival, though. We keep talking about this, how all over the board the genres are and the experiences of these bands. I mean, that is really what brings Blue Ridge to what it is.
Yeah.
And that is, it just shows more and more every day. Rick says he thinks it's going to sell out before headliners, before we get all of our headliners. And
I say no.
Absolutely. I think it is.
I don't. I will say this only because of what I kind of tracked in the fan zone by comments. I think there are so many people who are still hesitant. Why? I don't know. Because based on the 74 bands that they've already announced, there are bands that, and I've said this before on the other live streams, there are bands that I would have came for just for what they announced already. Darkness Fall being #1 on that list, next to then Ginger, and now ERRA too. But I mean, the lineup is so solid already, but there are fans who are really hesitant because we haven't had a headliner yet get dropped. And I feel the moment that they start dropping those, that's the moment when Blue Ridge will sell out. That's my take on it. I'll be honest, I'm sorry. It's like, I don't see it selling out prior to that because there's already been, it seems like so many holdouts because everyone keeps saying it. When are we going to get a headliner? When are we going to get a headliner? So, that's just what I'm seeing out of that. I mean, I get it, but I mean, I'm just like, honestly, with just what we have, the lineup's already great. If you let's put it this way. If you stopped the lineup today, right, and just said the 74 bands that we have is going to be our festival, it's a solid fest.
It is.
It's a solid fest. But people know that there's still 100 bands plus more to go, and they're still waiting for like one of those top 9s to get dropped.
That's fair. That is fair.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. Rick said it should be he thinks it's going to sell out before, and I just don't see it. It's like, and I'm sorry, it's no offense to the festival whatsoever. Like I said, I think it's a solid lineup, but I think your fans are saying right now that headliners don't make a festival. Headliners don't make a festival. I have to challenge that one in my opinion, because I think at every festival you look at, the first thing people look at are the headliners that are on the lineup. Nobody starts at the bottom and looks their way up. They don't. Now, granted, of course, the headliners are in a bigger font than everyone else is so small. So I mean, that's not feasibly possible. I get that. But no one comes to a festival normally just for the mid card. They just don't. People want to see who's headlining this thing. And and while I understand your thing to say that a headliner doesn't make a festival, I think the majority of festivals out there will argue differently and say that's not true. Now, I think Blue Ridge takes a very different approach to the way that they do their festival lineup by far compared to every other festival that's out there. And they absolutely stack the middle of the card with some phenomenal talent that would make people say, yeah, I'm buying in, because if you go look now, hang on, I'll go look right now and I'll tell you outright. because I was literally looking at this just the other day because I wanted to see how close are we. And if I look at tickets and look under festival passes at blueridgerockfest.com, plug, um, right now, 4-day multi-passes are at tier 4. 3-day multi-passes are at tier 3. There's only 4 tiers of the 3-day, just so you're aware. So they're already halfway gone, right? The 4-day has 5 tiers. They're already up to 4 as of right now. VIP passes are at tier 4. There's nothing more after that. You want your VIP, go get it now before it's gone, because it will be gone. As soon as the first headliner goes, VIP will be out the door and done. Guaranteed.
Agreed.
Guaranteed. 3-day VIP, so that's only for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, is right now at tier 3, and there's 4 tiers for that as well. And then the Rockstar passes are right now at tier 3, and there's only 4 tiers for Rockstar. So with that being said, if you ask that question and say, headliners don't make a festival, if that was true, I think we'd already be sold out on VIP.
That's fair. I think that's a good analysis. I do.
Yeah, I mean, I think these will already be gone. These would be gone. Now, premium camping is gone. I'm not surprised by that at all.
No,
So,
while
premium
you're
camping
on the
is sold
site,
out.
I think I saw that the club experience is now on sale as well.
Is it? Hang on.
I think I saw that.
It is. Hey, there you go. I'll plug this because I like plugging stuff, right? I mean, we're talking specifically about Blue Ridge anyway, so I'll help to plug this. 3-night club experience is available now. It says it's $135, but there's a caveat here, but you must also purchase a 3 or 4-day festival pass and be a camper. So you have to have a camping pass in order to buy a club experience ticket. So there you go. And single-day passes are not on sale yet. It says coming soon still. So thank you for bringing that up, Danny.
Well, apparently it's been on sale and I'm a weirdo, which is absolutely fair again. And it is what it is. I just thought I saw it specifically called out in a recent story from Blue Ridge, and therefore it was prevalent in my mind. I can't help it that there was a squirrel and I got distracted.
That's okay. I mean, it's sad to say, like, I try to read all the announcements and they come out, and this week has just been hell week for me. Like for those who don't know, for the job that I do, I'm working tonight at 11 o'clock. Yeah, fun stuff. So I haven't been this week like really looking into such a jerk. It's like I haven't been in close attention as like to some of the stuff on the announcements as I normally am. So let me just scroll back through comments a little bit. I just want to see some of the stuff that's in here that people have said.
Go on now. So
Courtney says she wants
while you're doing
Gojira back. I'd like Gojira.
I would love to see Gojira back. That is such a great band.
Am I allowed to plug my site for something?
I would hope so.
Go, if anyone wants to see, I did a review for Gojira, photopit.com/reviews. And somewhere in that list, you'll find my Gojira review with alien weaponry and knock loose. And I was so in love with my Gojira photos, it's not even funny anymore. I mean, that was probably my best concert I think I shot. I'm not saying festival, concert, single concert. Because Blue Ridge was my festival baby. Best concert I shot probably in 2021. I just absolutely love that festival. Like, I was ready to go into the mosh pit with my camera gear and just go. My wife probably would have killed me.
Tells me that you and I are going to need to coordinate a gear shift where you get to hold my camera while I run and go and throw down in the pit for a song. Assuming I even make the entire song, I'll come out and then you get a turn. I'm not actually making an entire song this year in the pit, but I am sure as hell going to try.
I'm too old for that stuff. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Amanda called us weirdos because it's been on sale. We didn't know that.
Thomas, I absolutely agree. Alien Weaponry is a sweet band.
Oh my god! Yeah, hey,
so nuts.
Yeah, Blue Ridge. We need them too, by the way. If you can get some more international bands, Alien Weaponry is the one to bring. I caught them at another festival. We don't talk about the other festivals, right? That's our rule. We talk about the festival we're focusing on. I caught them at another festival.
We don't talk about Bruno. That's what we've got.
No, talk about Bruno. Yeah, in 2019, and they had them on a main stage, and man, they were just fantastic. They were great when I saw them here in October when they came to Orlando. I mean, one of my friends was so mad because apparently the lineup was listed as Knock Loose first, then Alien Weaponry, and they were going to skip Knock Loose because unfortunately I guess they just weren't fans of them, and it was Alien Weaponry first. They only caught 2 songs of them. They were so sad. They were so sad. So, but yeah, I'd love to see them here. That would be a great addition. I think Blue Ridge Math needs an add-on. Make it 172.
You know,
Alien Weaponry.
while we're talking about them, I want to commend them for really tapping into their cultural roots to bring to their music, which is just, you know, it's cool. You see bands like them, The Hue, the Bloody Wood, all these bands that are really tapping into these cultural metal blends, which is just blows my mind, right? Yeah. But then this band, Alien Weaponry, dating myself here, but they're kids. I think they're all now in their early 20s.
They are in their early 20s.
At, you know, the first time I saw them, I want to say one of the guys was 17. And I mean, and they held their own with these 20 plus year vets that are there crushing the stages. So the amount of talent that's still out there, I mean, it's phenomenal. And it's encouraging for those that say that rock is on its way out. You look at a festival like this,
nope,
it's just getting started again. And
they're great.
God, I'm ready.
Born of Osiris, Alien Weaponry, there. Texas and New Zealand. I'm putting that in the fan zone as soon as I'm done. I'm gonna throw that on there. Like, we need them both. Just add more to the lineup. I mean, what's 2 more bands, right?
Right. What I would say at this point in our show, because we have not actually done this yet, we still kind of need to give this whole the hell is Blue Ridge at this point, right? Like, we keep jumping into this show like everybody knows what we're doing and what this festival is about.
What do we not know what this festival is about? What, it's four solid days of
But apparently
rock.
there's people that still don't know, and that bothers me.
All right, well, yeah, I'll promo it, right? Blue Ridge Rock Festival, September 8th through 11th in 2022 this year, the Virginia International Raceway. 4 days of solid rock, metal, a really heavy metal stage, a Warped Tour-like stage, and a camping experience. And include the camping experience, they're also going to have the pre-party. That's going to be for the campers only. Plus, you're going to have the club experience. You're going to have 3 hip-hop artists. What did they do it last year? Was it Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Right? They didn't have anyone on Sunday?
Correct.
Right? So probably, I'm guessing the same thing again, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, for a club experience that you have to be a camper only to be able to see it. So you have to be even staying there on site to be able to even see the club experience, right? I mean, and the unique thing that sells Blue Ridge Rock Festival, which people seem to love it so much because of it, it is the tagline, the fan-driven experience, because earlier in the year, the fans got to vote on various bands on who they wanted to see at the festival. And you know what? A lot of times they got what they asked for. And if they didn't get what they asked for, is because of something out of their, the Blue Ridge staff's control, that they couldn't bring in an artist for one reason or another. Last year, a lot of it was COVID protocol stuff. So, they had so many bands, unfortunately, that dropped out and then new ones came on. Things happen. We understand. But that's the whole purpose of Blue Ridge. And I'll add this too. The reason why we're also doing this is because they announce the bands one at a time until they decide we're going to drop the whole lineup. Why? Because it's exciting to do it that way. And it's fun. And you get to speculate and talk about it. And for days on end, you're just talking about bands that are just being announced more and more and more. Because if you drop a lineup, what normally happens, I've seen, because I'm literally seeing it in other festival groups today, is they talk about the lineup for a day and then no one talks about it any further because now you got to wait 6 months to see it.
Yep.
Right? Blue Ridge wants to keep it fresh, exciting, and memorable. And they're doing a good job at that. That's for sure. Everyone last year talked about Blue Ridge. The buzz was phenomenally huge. 40,000 plus people per day showed up last year. And I'm sure this year we're going to blow it out of the water again. There's no doubt in my mind. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet and you're watching this at some point, go do it before it sells out, because it will. I made that promise earlier in a live stream a couple of weeks back. I said there is no doubt in my mind that this festival will sell out. None whatsoever. I think people right now are really just waiting to see the headliners. And once some of those headliners drop, I think it's going to go. Will it sell out before the full lineup drops? I don't know. I'm kind of debatable about that. I think if the right headliner gets dropped, I think it would sell out prior to it. But the question becomes we don't know who that is. So we'll have to wait. So wait and see. And then on top of that, I'll promo a little more. 12 reunion bands are going to be at Blue Ridge, bands that have not been around or have not been active for some time. Some of those bands include one of my favorite, Darkness Falls, Kitty, Fear Factory. Who else is on that list? Remind me here, Danny. Who else am I missing?
Shadows Fall, not Darkness Falls.
Sorry, Shadows Fall. Why keep saying Darkness Falls?
You're
Shadows
thinking Darkest Tower.
Thank you. Yeah, my bad. Bad on me.
Shadows Fall,
Fear Factory, I know, was announced. Kitty was announced.
Union Underground.
Union Underground, right? I have to go back and look at the other one.
Yeah,
but
so.
But in any case, but still, we have 6 more reunion bands to go, and unfortunately, one band is listed as a farewell tour. That hasn't been announced yet. Stick with us. We'll get to it at some point to discuss it.
That's right.
So, but there's my promo about why we do what we're doing with this live stream, and why you should come join Blue Ridge, because why not? I had a great time last year. People were probably like, there were hiccups. Yeah, there were hiccups. Festivals have hiccups.
Hiccups everywhere.
There's hiccups everywhere in festivals. Logistic stuff happens. People get it. We understand. And I even said, I was timed last year when I said, with all the hiccups, I wouldn't come back. And I changed my mind, obviously, because why? I was excited about some of the new stuff that they're doing. I'm excited about the new venue. I'm excited about the lineup for sure. Already with the 74 bands they've announced, I'm already sold. So why aren't you? It's my question to you guys watching. Come
on that. Yeah. On that note, I think we got ourselves a wrap. As a reminder, Mr. Bernard will be out of pocket, and we will not be with you on Friday night. However, we will be back on Monday, and it is going to be really long because there's going to be so much to talk about, and I'm really freaking pumped for that.
I will say this, and depending on Danny's available, if tomorrow the 3 announcements are hot, maybe we'll do a one-off on a Thursday to talk about the 3 bands that get dropped tomorrow.
See what we can do.
Yeah, we'll see what we do. I'm not going to be available because I'm covering the Innings Festival in Tampa, Florida this weekend, which is a unique spring training baseball break / music get-go. But there's a number of bands I'm excited to see, like the Lumineers, and Incubus is playing, Green Day's playing. So, I'm game for this one. Excuse the pun.
We're gonna play a game right now, Bernard. I'm thinking of a finger and it's aimed at you. Which one? It's probably not the thumbs up. On that note. But Monday, we'll be back, 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And tell your friends, tell your enemies. We'll all be together as a big, happy community. Let's do this.
Yep, we'll be back. So, like we said, if for some reason, like we said, when the 3, if the 2 announcements come out and I think they're big enough, I'll ping Danny and be like, I want to talk tonight. And we'll see, maybe we'll do it Thursday. But if not, we'll come back on Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll cover 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday worth of band announcements. It'll be a long one, so buckle in and be ready. But thank you, everyone, once again for being here with us. We appreciate you, and we will be back more likely on Monday. Have yourself a great weekend, and talk to you soon. Bye, all.
See you guys.